Hello, everyone. I really was annoyed yesterday. At the end of the day, I did a bunch of programming and it didn't work. So I took a look at it off stream and I realized that there was like a fundamental issue that I really had to solve. So what I have done is I have written this piece of code and I will be not explaining it right now. Anyway, from here on. So all this code is live on the GitLab. Maybe I can clean it up a little bit. But the point is, now this is finally working. And it was more complicated than I assumed. So I had to like separate the logic and do a bunch of extra stuff. But now, finally, I can build. Sometimes you just have to sit down and you have to really, try your hardest to make it work. So you have the middle alignment, right alignment, left alignment, and similarly for English, we have the left alignment, middle alignment, and right alignment. And as you can see, this blue box, this is drawn around the bounding box of the text. And that's the bounding box that it's being centered around. So actually, this text is almost perfectly centered on the very, very middle, which is what I want. I'm calling a function specifically to setting the anchor there. And everything is working. I'm happy with it. There's, you could extend it more by making it scale down in the case that it's going outside of like some defined bounding box. That's not something I'm going to be dealing with right now, but you could very well imagine that instead of having a line break, you are scaling down the text width. And if you are having line breaks, you are scaling the height if it goes above a certain value. So we are not dealing with that right now. Instead, we are dealing with making buttons. And I want to have a play button today. That is my goal. So if we go to the game, this is the debug rectangle that I was making. You can see here that I'm grabbing the first child of my group for LTR. And then I'm grabbing the bounding box for the width and height. And then I'm grabbing the position to set the rectangle. This function actually, it doesn't need only a position. This is the root. And then we have v3 entity position. That is a lot better. But we are not drawing this at all right now, so never mind that. But it's good to be able to have that function available. Should I maybe just comment it out for now? Hello, Sipfrin. Hope you're doing well. So this is our UI button. Obviously, it's not really doing anything right now. We're creating the background with some predetermined texture. And then we're grabbing the text with some predefined string from here. And what I would like to do, how I'm doing, well, I started this stream by saying that I was quite annoyed by yesterday and how I had to solve it. But now it's solved. It's all good. So let's move on. Create UI button. I actually do want to have a command here. I don't know. Doesn't really make a difference. So let's say we are adding not intro one, but rather this. So I have to find out what is play game in Arabic or start game. So it looks like this is how you say it. Start the game. We can also go to Swedish. Chinese. I don't actually have a font for Chinese. But it's something that we can try. Simplified. This is simplified Chinese. I hope. So now we can try these different languages. So we have Swedish, Arabic, and Chinese. Now, again, I don't have a font for Chinese, but maybe we get some boxes at least. The command is after the size. Invalid language. Well, interesting. We will solve that eventually. Swedish, I think, should be okay. Could not find glyph with code point 8D. Okay. I wonder if this is just issues with the font. Yeah, it's not intro, it's start screen body. Hmm. Oh, I see what's going on. So in my function that goes through all the text in the game, it doesn't know about the start screen. So maybe what I will do instead is call this play game. Mm-hmm. That should work. Oh, actually, no. Intro 0 or yeah, intro 0 body. Play game. We want this style to be MDL. And we need some kind of function pointer. It doesn't take one, so we need to add that. How do I make a function pointer in a parameter? Like this. Void function state. Maybe there's an easier way, because I already have this void function pointer somewhere. Something like this, it looks like. Yeah. No, I don't know if I can do that. Let's see what that breaks. So it breaks here, entity functionality. Function. Not a good name. It's not super elegant. But it's better than before, I think. So we are adding that function to here. So it goes into the rectangle. Do I just do children 0 run equals run? I would like to have that to be a function call, because this is a little bit, it's not very easy to remember, I would say. A little bit awkward. Too few arguments, fine. So between the command and the size, we are adding the sum function pointer, click, entity click. Why? Incompatible? Well, it's not a pointer, I guess. That's also not very nice to have to type every time. I would rather just add the actual function pointer. So we will see about that. But let's just see. Oh, it's running all the time. Obviously, because we are not checking. We're just running every frame, literally. So we need to have the mouse position. Is that mesh bounding box? 1 X. The top is 1. This is 0. They're both Y. These are backwards. So now it should print if my mouse is within the edges of that bounding box. But it doesn't. So let's see what's actually going on. Click. The hover X and hover Y. Okay. So it just never ran, I guess. Minus 250 and 250. Is it not the bounding box then? I guess this bounding box is relative to the transform. But the transform is, it's the transform of the group. It would be much easier if maybe the UI specifically, the group is always on 0, and then I have the offsets of each thing. No, I don't like that. It kind of shouldn't be an entity function. It should be a group function. self. Yeah, we're changing back this group create UI button. Debug rectangle doesn't have anything, so we can give a null pointer. UI button takes this I32, of course. What is this error? Oh, okay. We don't really have I don't really have a, you know, 100% accurate way of always getting the right thing here. I just have to sort of hard code it. So I can say that the bounding box is self children 0. Mesh bounding box. So this is just like hard coded right now. I don't really have a way of differentiating between them. But it's fine enough for testing. And then we're having the X and Y. So V2 We can do this, I think. That works. Oh, this is a vec3. This works. And now we can just do max and min. Hopefully that works. Oh. Well, nothing is working right now. Why? It's not called at all. Because I'm never running the function, of course. So in my game updates, I'm processing the functions for every entity. I guess I should also do it for every group. What is wrong here? Let's just call it fn. If we have a function pointer, then run the function state self or g and assert new line always. Now the function should at least run, and it does. We are not triggered though. Let's see. The bounding box looks correct. 850 to 1350. That seems accurate. And then Y 875, 1125. Like, seems okay. So then we're checking if 886 is larger than the minimum 850 and it's smaller than the maximum. True, true. 875. Okay. Let's print some more just to see what's going on. And group. Click. So yeah, now we're printing the actual position of the mouse if we are not within the bounds. Oh, I see. So this hover is not updating if I'm not clicking. And then it's left on. It's sort of like I'm having a pointer and I'm leaving the thing there. So that's not a bug. That's only a problem of how I'm pulling the input. Oh, yeah. So let's fix the input. Where is this file? Win32 window. So yeah, you can see that we're only sending this message when the button is down. Or do we? MKL button. Yeah, we're only sending this if the L button is down. So I guess maybe let's not do that. hover end. I feel like there shouldn't be hover start, hover move, and hover end. Probably what we want is a hover, just hover. And then click button down. And button up. It's getting a little bit messy here, so let's clean up. I can do something like, I think this works. Define then some high value. So now this will start at 65K and this one will be after that, and so on and so on. You know, you could even have something funny like that. This is our value where we start messages. Because this message it's a U64. I don't know what value to put here. We can put almost anything there that we can type. I don't know what makes sense. Let's leave it at that. So now we're sending a hover, rather a button down. Hmm. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, right? One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Works. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12, 13, 14. So I feel like rather than sending a message every time we're doing this, we probably want to have a we want to or do we want to decouple it? We kind of want to run all of the messages and then get a state and push that once to the game. Because it's kind of pointless to, or is it pointless? Pointless to send a bunch of messages to the game and process it there. Because it's not really related to the frame count. In my function. You can see that I'm doing this plus plus. This is only true if we're doing this once per frame, but right now we're not. So maybe where is our, this is our window. We are having the hover location, which is a it's sort of a V2I. I16. Mm. I think this makes sense if I'm rewriting it a little bit. So we are getting the button state as a U64. Hmm. Let's go to definitions and make a macro for that. Something like bit count. Or type. Yeah. I don't care about hover here. If it's set, then that's true. If it's not set, then we set it to 0. And then for hover, we're doing exactly the same. I don't care about button because I'm already doing that here. There's a million errors here for some reason. We don't care about hover. Nope, 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 nope. Nothing like that. All we're doing is we're setting the button A. Button A has that bit. So we are getting the state or window, button state, and that. Is that correct? So we're having a button state and we're just setting the button A to 1. And then when we're doing the button here, it's button B. Mouse move, like let's ignore that for now. Button up. So how do we clear it out? We're doing like that. So we're taking the negative of this and then we're ANDing. I think that's correct. Of course, it's for A. And here's for B. And then mouse move. Window hover X equals get X lparam, was it? Oops. I think that's correct. I guess we can do the same here. But I need to double check that that's actually correct. Let's just see what happens. Okay, so we're at 0. And we're always at 0. And nothing is ever happening. Okay, well, let's go to our window. Get X lparam or something. we're having our button states as a series of bits. We're setting the A button, I presume. And then we have hover X. Some value, it's probably the same. Okay, great. So are we not setting those? Message hover. It's never being sent. Not send message. What was this function? Push message. What type of game am I building? I am making some kind of 3D game where I will be flying around a spaceship among asteroids. And it will be sort of an asteroids clone. You know, the classic game Asteroids? So similar to this game. And in this game, you are flying around, you're shooting the asteroids to be smaller, maybe you get points or something like that. So I wanted to do something similar, but instead of just shooting the asteroids, I wanted you to maybe mine them and grab their resources for fuel and metal. And everything is going to be using 3D models. So something simple that I can finish, but still complex enough that it's worth making. But right now I'm having problems with my inputs because I am having this message hover or message data. Oh. Oh, I think I know what's going on. This is not in the top 32 bytes anymore. This is just there. There's no button index. So yeah. OpenGL or Vulkan? I am using OpenGL right now. Okay. So we have up to 17. It's not the negative direction is wrong. So now the hitbox for this is down here. The test there in the bottom is like a hitbox test, but it's upside down for some reason. Thanks for the good luck. I hope that I need less luck and more just support, time, effort. I don't hope to have a bunch of luck, you know, typing something and oh, it just works. But I appreciate the gesture. So apparently in my window, here's my loop, right? Cover location. Did I forget to question? Should I do it here? I don't really think so. It's much nicer to put it here. Window. Like that. Oops. Now it should not be upside down anymore. Look. So our hitbox test is working. So that means we can check for if maybe we just do it in here. So if the state input buttons or rather button A, just A. Yeah, now I can click it. Although it keeps running, I kind of want to shut it off, I guess. I don't want it to like run every time. Every frame that I'm holding the button down, I don't want it to run. I just want it to run once. So that means I need to have some sort of data for that. So maybe I have a type def struct fn data. And this is actually maybe not a struct, but a union. And I think I can have anonymous unions in C. Yeah, now it just runs once and I can never click it again. So here's what's going on. I am having this is a union. So everything inside of this is sharing the same data. This this is a bool, so this is the size of a byte, I believe, yeah. This is the size of U64. So even though this is only 1 byte, it still gets aligned to be 8 bytes, right? Then when I'm adding it here, I know it's always having the maximum size of whatever is in one of these structs. So it means that I can have one struct that has all of the function data that I might need, but I am not using more memory than absolutely necessary. So it's kind of like the best of both worlds. The best of both worlds. Now the issue is I need to probably I want to associate this pressed with the click. So then what I maybe should be doing is to group click, you know. So that is more verbose, but I think that does make sense because then I know always what data I'm associating with the thing. Even if I have 10 functions that are having just like the pressed one, and then the 11th one is having pressed plus something else, I can just make more structs here and fill it out and always know exactly which one I'm using. Or I can just say, oh, for anything that is a button, I'm always using this. So it gives me a lot of flexibility. Now we need to reset this probably. Well, this button specifically, we don't really need to reset because the start button you only ever press once and then we kill it. So maybe that's something that we should do next. We are pressing it. We are running our function, which is just like this printing test. We have clicked it. It's true. We are done with the function. So we should we should mark it for deletion, maybe. Now, ideally, we don't want to have a delay. So we should, if we can, delete this on the same frame that we click it. But then we need to do that somewhere where it makes sense. So maybe we do some sort of cleanup. Maybe instead of putting that delete here, we put it there. So we are marking this group for deletion in the function. Self dot delete equals true. And then we have one more for count here. Then we need to, well, we don't necessarily delete the children, but we do delete the group. So the reason I'm saying that is because the entities could be shared and the things within the entities could be also shared. The components within the entities could also be shared, I guess, potentially. So again, do we count the entity users here? Destroy. Because I already have this function. Oh, I do exactly what I was telling about having users, and if users are 0, then we destroy. So I already did that, I guess. So then that's very simple. Now we can't put this in here because we don't know if G is a null pointer. So I think that might just work. Ooh. Unable. What is this? 2. Well, of course 2 is going to be... 2 doesn't exist. Another guard. Oh. And now it doesn't exist. I have to double check the state to see if the entities are also deleted. But, you know, that's exactly, hey, that's pretty cool. And you could say this function here, like right now I'm just like printing test, but I could definitely have a function in here. It would be a void, or maybe I32. So I could run this one instead. I really need to use the bathroom, so I'll be right back. But I will show you exactly what I mean later. I am back with some snacks. These are, well, I already opened it now. But this is Billy Green Veganer Snack Salami style. In case anyone was wondering, give me a sponsorship, please. All right, it's pretty good. It's not the healthiest thing, but at least healthier than meat. So yeah, with this, we can call the group click function that we have assigned when we created the group. Maybe just call it function. State and some data. I haven't made the function yet, so I don't know what data I need. So then I just have to follow the same thing. Oh, and so yeah, we can just have this function. It doesn't take anything. It just takes the takes the state. Doesn't even need a state, but probably it should have it. So yeah, notice this is actually not, this is the function I want to give right now. And you will see the reason why. Yeah, group click function equal to group function, or maybe rather click function. And I think that's all we really need. Yeah, still works. Yeah, this group click. We should give the self. I don't know if I can put group there. I think that causes an issue here because it's not having the same. It doesn't look the same anymore. This does have to be void. But we can just cast it. Oh. And we set the delete here because it's only in this function. Imagine this would be a volume slider. We don't want to delete the volume after setting it, you know. Oh, it's not deleting it anymore. Why is that? Delete equals true. And similarly, huh? Why is this false now? Oh, I'm dumb. What the hell? Such a stupid error. Now it's working. See? Cool. Hello, Ertio 20. I am fairly happy with that. Now, what I am basically done for the day, I think. The question is what I should I finish with anything? Because this is exactly what I wanted to do today. You know, you click a button, it executes a function. In this case, we're just printing something and then we're deleting the button, which is fine. You could very just as well have a button that doesn't delete itself and resets the click whenever you release the button. Such an interesting topic. You earned a subscriber. Well, thank you. I am I've been working on this for some time now, but it's the first time I'm using C to make anything interesting. And it's a little bit annoying because at this point I have no assets because I haven't made an assets manager yet. But I figured I could still get something running with just triangles and boxes. And well, obviously, text. Text has been an absolute crazy project to get working. Like probably 20 out of the last 40 days has been managing text, but now it's finally done. So I hope I don't have to come back to that. But yeah, this button looks a little bit funny when it's just like this test texture. And I'm wondering, one thing I've been wondering about is if I have, like, why is it that one thing drawn after the other is just drawn on top? Why am I not having Z fighting? Is that something that I just haven't set in the OpenGL state? And then it's going to bite me in the ass when I get to it? I'm not sure. But one thing maybe we could do is do some housekeeping. So I probably want to have an entity .c and entity.h. This is a component. So do I add components.c as well? Yeah, this is just housekeeping. Entity pause. These are in math. This mesh has its entire own file. It does make sense. Where did I add memset? It comes from standard string.h. This is taking pointer value number or count. Okay. Include what? Component. No, it's not used. It's using standard align, isn't it? We have component. I forget if that's all of them. Okay. So we are having entity.h. You need components. And I guess mesh. Although mesh is a type of component. So I have to think about that. We can add that here as well. Oh, you need to know about game as well, because the game has a state. Unknown type name. Is this some kind of including recursion error? I think I have a recursive including error. Because here's the state, but the state is having entities. And then my entity is having a... It needs to know about the state. So the easiest way to solve that is to have some kind of predefs. So this would have the entity, state, and whatever else. Oh, I think I need to do it like that. I could maybe put the predefs in here. I don't know. So many decisions. I hate making decisions. You don't know about entity. Oh, you can't know about entity. It has to go into the predefs. I don't know, dude. Maybe I put this trash into the definitions file anyway. Like, this is completely pointless and not useful for programming at all. This is just the compiler being annoying for no reason. Well, definition is maybe not the right word. Settings. Like I'm telling you, it's pointless. Like the compiler could just like look up in the file what it needs and assign these automatically. Like there's no point in me writing it except that the specification of the language says it requires that it's done like this. So I just have to do it because of that. But there's no practical reason why the computer or the compiler couldn't just deal with it. And if you write like basically other any other high language like C# or Java or something like this, it doesn't care about it because it doesn't make sense. So let me just delete this again. I'm just making decisions. I hate decisions, like I said. We have some settings here, entity max count. Group max count. All of these basically. These do need to exist, but again, they could be in some file as just like read on I could make a system where I'm just assigning them. See, this, I have to do this. This has to be done. There's no way around it, as far as I know. I could make void point. I can use void pointers everywhere, but like that's not a good solution. And then this, I could deal with this, but this is also like a little bit annoying. But I can deal with that. File name max, you know. So we have entity, H and C. Obviously, we want to put the entity add or entity create. We are putting this here with no, it's not used. What is this? Incomplete definition of type state. And then if I add this, instead it's going to say, well, it's not used directly. There's nothing here. Bullshit. Ran out of entity IDs. Assert. This assert is in definitions, is it not? Oh, that's in there. I can put this in here, can't I? That should be possible. Pick your poison. I don't know. I don't know what Clangd is doing here. It's stupid. Okay. This is why I kind of like having everything in one file if I can. Sometimes it doesn't even make sense to separate it into different things. Why is the assert undeclared? Fatal error. Unknown type global. Sure. That's from game.h. But I'm including it. Use game macros. Why not? Unknown type name global. I see. So the operating system doesn't know about this because it doesn't use the game macros. But I don't think it doesn't have to exist. Or does it? So the actual global struct can be here. The actual struct can be here, and it can be defined there. But then we're creating the static pointer only in the game in here. And then that should work. Now, these are other errors. Incomplete definition of entity. That's fine. Unknown type name global. Uh-huh. Like this. Like this is just pointless. Okay, I think I might just be crashing immediately. Okay, no, everything works. So I didn't completely break it. That's cool. Not used directly. Are you sure about that? Incomplete definition. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, finally. I mean, again, there's no real point sometimes of separating things into different into different files. I was just thinking that, hey, I needed to clean up this a little bit because it was getting a little bit messy with components, entities, and groups of entities. And I wanted to have them more centralized. Now, I I really want unused includes. I want to have this warning because I don't like to include things that I don't need. But I don't understand why is this saying that it's unused when I'm literally using it right there. I might just disable that completely. Is that tidy or just Clangd? I think it's this one. Unused include. I forget. No, I completely forget. I need to search this up. So we are having unused include. Oh, it's in my Clangd settings. So I'm having some arguments here. Remove unused includes. Let's try restart language server. I think that fixed it. Again, only an error with the language server, not an error with the code. Because if there would be an error with the code, then the compiler would complain here. Funnily, what is going on? Funnily enough, I'm compiling using Clangd. You see here, well, I'm compiling using Clang. So it's funny that they would be. It's the same language server and the compiler, but it's still having an issue. So that's a good start. I would have to go through this a little bit closer, and also I would like to add a group here. So maybe group.c and also group.h. So again, here we have group. And group dot, wait, this is group.h. Mm-hmm. It looks like my language server has crashed completely. So I guess it actually wasn't working. Wait. All right. See you later, RTU. User settings, JSON. Sometimes you just have to reboot your computer and it starts working again. That's all I need, I guess. Maybe math. Very good. It's not implicit though. It's here. Oh, it's not there. Entity destroy. See if that works. Finish. Seems to be working fine. Still the assert. It's probably because of this macro. So I think what's happening is that it's crashing here, and then it's because of that, it doesn't see that game.h is actually being used. The way to solve it, I think, is probably this. And now it sees that it's being used. Right. What is this? No, not used. It is used. So why are you telling me it's not being? I don't get it because it is being used. No idea. Oh well, I think that's it for me today. Or actually, let's very quickly. I think this is completely messed up right now. Yeah, this is messed up for multiple reasons. I don't really have the will to fix it, so we're going to ignore it. Yeah, thank you very much for watching. That's it for the stream. I will think about what I want to do next time. For sure, we want to fix the Emscripten part, and then probably we will start generating some things that we can actually, play with, working on input, things like this. And then I need to start working on assets. Yeah. Thank you, and I'll see you later.